Shalom, Yahweh, Shemi Yashabakta, Yah Shema, Shemi Yashah. This is Priest and Captain Shemawa of ISBK under Commander General Yahana. ISBK Queens coming to you right now. We're going to get right into it. We're going to go into interracial marriage. For all you celebrities out there who think you have a better life, if you marry a woman of another nation, you are wrong. And it's a sin according to God and to the Most High God, according to the Bible, not to marry outside your race. It started back with Adam and Eve. We're gonna go to Genesis chapter 2, verse 21. Now, just to give you a backdrop, Adam was not the first person on this earth. It was 1,000 years. Man was created on the sixth day, and the day until it was like 1,000 years, about 1,000 years, right? So there's people on the earth before Adam. Adam had a mother and father, so Adam had relatives. So when Adam named all the cattle and the beasts of the field, God said it was not help me for Adam. Adam shouldn't be alone, so he's gonna get Adam a wife. So this what God had to say. We're gonna go to Genesis chapter 2, verse 21. Verse 21. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept and took one of his ribs. What is that rib? A rib is a member of his family, a distant cousin or something like that. And closed up the flesh and stirred thereof, and closed up the flesh and stirred thereof. What does that mean? All people in Adam's family, that's the only women he can deal with. That's it. Those women are out of his family. And the rib, in verse 22, and the rib which the Lord God had taken from man, made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. We're going to get what that means. We're going to go to Judges chapter 2, chapter 9, verse 2. Judges chapter 9, verse 2. Judges 9, verse 2. Speak, I pray you, in the ears of all the men of Shechem, whether it is better for you either that all the sons of Jerubbaal, which are 70 persons, reign over you, or that one reign over you. Remember also that I am your bone and your flesh. I am your family. So guess what, God? He took a member of Adam's family and made a new family. We're going to go to Genesis chapter, I believe, 29, verse 14. Salakia. Drop that. Now we're going to go to Deuteronomy 7 and 1. We're going to get the law on marriage and how you can't deal with these other nations. Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 1. 7 and 1. This is what the Lord said. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land where thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. Remember, a nation is a race of people. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them from before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. This is the marriage part right here, verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give to his son, and nor his daughter thou shalt not give until thy son. And this is the reason why God don't want to deal with these heathens. For they will turn away thy son from the following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. That's what the other nations do. If you marry a so-called oppressor, you're gonna worship that white Jesus. If you marry an Asian woman, you're gonna bend and bend and bend, and you're gonna become a Buddhist. And your children gonna be doing Buddhist things and Asian things and Hindu things and all that. And God don't want that. That destroys our people. Man, remember this: God destroyed the earth, flooded the earth because of interracial marriage. Because the sons of God went to the daughters of men and saw that they were fair. It says that in Genesis, the 6th chapter. He does not want us to deal with these other nations. They will return you from serving him, and they will destroy our nation. Joshua, 23rd chapter. Joshua chapter 23 and verse 11. Take good heed, therefore, unto yourselves, that ye love the Lord your God. Else, if you do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them, and go into them, and they into you. That's it. See that? That's why he don't want us dealing with these other nations, because we're going to go back into how we was doing when we was dealing with these heathen. He wants us to be separate. Remember, God said we are holy people. The word holy means separate. He wants to be separate from these heathen, because that'll make it, when we deal with these other nations, we be married with them, that causes us to sin. Verse 13. Know for a certainty that the Lord your God will no more drive out any of these nations from before you, but they shall be snares and traps into you, and scourges in your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until you perish from off this good land which the Lord your God had given you. Remember that when we deal with these other nations, right? He ain't gonna protect us from these heathens. He not gonna protect us. So if you want to marry an Asian, like Young Jesus, he married that Asian woman. When Serena Williams married that white man, when Jennifer Lopez married a white man and all that, our oppressor. That's right. That's the reason why he not driving these nations from among us. That's the reason. Because we want to deal with these heathens. We want to be in league with these heathens. So that's why he not driving it. That's why we remain oppressed as a people. We can get some more. We're going to go to Nehemiah 13. Nehemiah 13, verse 23. Let's see what the Lord said. And in those days also said I, Jews that had married wives of Asher, of Ammon, and of Moab. Ammon is the Japanese. Moab is the Chinese. Just like Young Jesus, he married some Asian woman. And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people. You see that? We spoke in the language of Ashdod, but we could not speak in our own tongue. That's what we do when we marry these heathen. We start speaking their languages, following their customs, and God don't want that. And I contended with them and cursed them and smote certain of them and plucked off their hair and made them swear by God, saying, you should not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons or for yourselves. This is the reason why. This is what we're going to get right now. Verse 26. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin? What is sin? Sin is transgression of the law. 1 John 3 and 4 says that. By these things. Yet among many nations, but there no king like him, who was beloved. Salakia. Who was beloved of his God, and God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him, the outlandish women caused to sin. You see that? Outlandish women caused him to sin. That's what he did. Solomon ended up sinning, and he ended up building idols to them heathen gods in his old age. Verse 27. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against our God and marrying strange wives? That's what we're not supposed to do. We're not supposed to marry strange wives. We're not supposed to marry these heathen nations. So, because they'll turn you away from serving your Lord. They'll make you become a sinner. We're going to go to, we're going to get real quick. In the Apocrypha, Tobit. We're going to end it with this. Tobit chapter 4 and verse 12. Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy father. See that? Marrying another nation, that's whoredom in the sight of God. That's a form of fornication. And take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe. For we are the children of the prophets Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land. See that even from the beginning. What's that beginning? What did I bring out? Adam and Eve. Even he clothed with the flesh thereof. Adam only dealt with his family. Now therefore, my son, love thy brethren, and despise not in thy heart thy brethren, the sons and the daughter of thy people, and not taking a wife of them. You see that? When you marry these other nations, you really hate your own people. That's what you hate your own people. You hate being black. You hate being Hispanic. You hate being Native American Indian. All these celebrities and entertainers out there who think they make it big and they get these contracts and all that. And then, now they're going to marry some heathen woman. You hate your own people. You really don't want to be black. Young Jeezy, Serena Williams, Jennifer Lopez, and all these basketball players. As soon as they marry some white woman, they marry one of our oppressors. They don't like being black. They leave that woman that was in the hood, and they think they're gonna have a better life. They marry some heathen woman, And because they're not gonna be all loud mouth with the attitude. Look at young Jesus, but that Asian woman he married. Now he getting a divorce because she's loudmouth, disrespectful. That's what, you know what I mean? You know, she probably called him the N-word a couple of times, something like that. Now he won a divorce. And it's messed up. Now he got a child with her, so now he got to deal with her for a long time because they had that child together. Now he probably gonna have to pay child support and all that. Now his life gonna be hell. When he should have got a sister, he should have a woman from his people, from one of his neighborhood that he grew up in. That's what he should have did. But so young, you shouldn't hate your woman in your heart. But we're gonna end it with that. Do not marry another nation. It is a sin according to God, and they will turn you from serving serving the God your power. And that's why that's why in our community, that's why in the Black Hispanic and the American community, we get oppressed. You know what I'm saying? We going through hell. Why? Because we going to not just marry other women from heathen nations, but we want to do other sins as well too. That's why God allowing us to be destroyed as a people. We're gonna end it with that. Yah Bashmi Shabakata. Yah Shematam Yah Bashmi Shabashar. Like this. If you like what you just heard, like it, share it, and subscribe to ICBK Queens. Shalom.